Video opens with a shot of the host looking slightly stressed, checking their phone, sighing, then looking up at the camera with a sudden smile. Hey everyone! Ever feel like you're chasing happiness? Like it's some mythical creature you're always just one step behind? You get the new job, the new phone, the new relationship, and you think, this is it. But then, the feeling fades, and you're back to scrolling, searching for the next big thing. What if I told you that happiness isn't something you find, but something you build, and that the blueprint is backed by science? Stick around for the next 15 minutes, and we'll unpack the real science of happiness, giving you practical tools to build a more joyful life, starting today. First, let's bust a huge myth. Happiness isn't about being cheerful 24/7. That's not just unrealistic, it's exhausting. Scientists like Sonia Lyubomirsky define happiness as the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being, combined with a sense that one's life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. It's about the overall quality of your life, not just fleeting moments of pleasure. So where does this feeling of well-being come from? You might think it's all about your circumstances, your job, your bank account, where you live. But research from positive psychology shows something surprising. Your life circumstances only account for about 10% of your long-term happiness. Think about it. Lottery winners are often no happier than they were a year after their big win. And people who have faced major setbacks often report finding profound happiness later on. The external stuff just doesn't have the lasting power we think it does. So what about the other 90%? Well, about 50% is determined by your genetic set point. Some people are just naturally more predisposed to being cheerful, like that one friend who always seems to wake up on the right side of the bed. It's like having a default setting for your mood. But don't worry, that doesn't mean your happiness is fixed. That leaves a whopping 40% that's completely within your control. This 40% comes from your intentional activities, your thoughts, your actions, your habits. This is where the real magic happens. This is the part we can actively work on. Let's break down that 40% into actionable strategies, starting with one of the most powerful, gratitude. Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading gratitude researcher, has shown that regularly practicing gratitude can significantly increase your happiness levels. It literally rewires your brain to focus on the positive. It's not about ignoring the bad stuff, but about actively noticing the good. Here's a simple way to start. Every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things that went well during the day and why. They don't have to be monumental. Maybe a stranger held the door for you. Maybe you finally finished a nagging task. Maybe you just savored a really good cup of coffee. Describing why it went well is key. For example, a stranger held the door for me, which made me feel seen and reminded me of the small kindnesses in the world. Doing this consistently shifts your focus from what's missing to what's abundant. Next up, social connection. Humans are wired for community. A landmark 80-year Harvard study, one of the longest studies on adult life ever conducted, found that the single biggest predictor of health and happiness is the quality of our relationships. Not fame, not wealth, but strong, warm connections. Loneliness is as detrimental to our health as smoking or obesity. So, how do we cultivate this? It's about quality, not quantity. You don't need hundreds of friends. Nurture the relationships you have. Send that text, make that call, schedule a coffee date, and actually put your phone away. Ask meaningful questions, and really listen to the answers. Another great way is to engage in acts of kindness. Holding a door, giving a genuine compliment, or volunteering your time. These actions not only make others feel good, but they give you a powerful boost of what researchers call helper's high, flooding your brain with feel-good chemicals and strengthening your sense of connection to others. Let's move on to our third pillar, mindfulness and living in the present. Our minds have a tendency to wander, either ruminating on past mistakes or worrying about the future. Harvard psychologists Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert found that people are happiest when they are fully engaged in the present moment, regardless of what they are doing. This state is often called flow. You've probably experienced it. You're so absorbed in an activity, whether it's playing music, a sport, or even deep in a work project, that you lose all track of time. That's flow. Finding activities that put you in this state is a fantastic happiness booster. But you can also practice being present in everyday moments through mindfulness. It's as simple as paying full attention to your senses. When you're eating, actually taste your food. When you're walking, feel your feet on the ground and the air on your skin. This simple practice pulls you out of your head and into your life, right here, right now. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can train your brain to be less reactive and more present. Our fourth strategy is all about having a sense of purpose. This doesn't mean you have to go out and save the world, though that's great if you do. It's about feeling like you're part of something bigger than yourself. It's about finding meaning in your daily activities. For some, this comes from their career, their family, or their faith. For others, it might be a creative pursuit or a commitment to a cause. Ask yourself, what do I care about? What gets me excited? How can I use my skills to contribute even in a small way? One study showed that people who could connect their daily work tasks to a broader purpose reported much higher job satisfaction and overall well-being. Even reframing a task can help. You're not just filing papers, you're creating order and efficiency for your team so they can do their best work. Finding that why behind the what you do provides a deep, resilient form of happiness that circumstances can't easily shake. Finally, let's not forget the basics. Physical well-being. Your mind and body are not separate entities. They are deeply interconnected. Regular exercise is one of the most effective antidepressants available. It releases endorphins, reduces stress hormones, and improves your mood. You don't have to run a marathon. A brisk 30-minute walk each day is incredibly beneficial. Sleep is equally critical. When you're sleep-deprived, your emotional regulation goes out the window. Everything feels more difficult and irritating. Aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is a non-negotiable for mental well-being. And of course, what you eat matters. A balanced diet fuels your brain and body, affecting your mood and energy levels. Think of these as the foundation upon which all the other happiness strategies are built. So, to recap, happiness isn't a destination, it's a practice. It comes from that 40% that is entirely in your control. It's about intentionally cultivating gratitude, nurturing strong social connections, living in the present moment, finding a sense of purpose, and taking care of your physical body. It's not about doing everything perfectly all at once. It's about picking one or two of these strategies and starting small. Maybe you start a gratitude journal tonight. Maybe you call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while tomorrow. These small, intentional actions, compounded over time, are what build a genuinely happier, more meaningful life. It's science. Wow! We covered a lot in a short time. I hope this gave you a clearer, more empowering view of what happiness really is. It's not out there somewhere to be found. It's right here, waiting to be built by you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And for more content on living a better, more intentional life, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these strategies are you going to try first? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.